Hi guys, Dane here, and today I am going to be doing we are going to be doing, let me get the, what is that, a pronoun? We'll call it a pronoun. Let me get the pronouns right. I'm going to call in some outside help.
Okay, coming through.
What's your pronoun? What pronoun would you like to be?
I identify as an asparagus.
We'll just call you...
I'm Suzie.
Yeah.
I'm Suzie. Hi guys.
Believe it or not, she's not used to being in front of the camera as well.
No, I'm usually behind the camera.
She's also the DOP, and so she's told me I have to look at you guys rather than like at you. Become hair.
That's not awkward at all.
So what are we doing today?
Well, we're starting a new channel, and the idea is you're all about books and I'm all about every other type of media like theatre and films. So I'm going to be Madam Media and you're going to be?
Lord Literature.
Yeah, because that's exactly what a lord says.
Yeah. I'm a modern lord, man. I'm on fleek.
You're down with the kids, innit?
I'm down with the kids.
This is our first video ever, and you can tell from how well this is going. It is October 2020 and we've made it this far. What should we do? How should we do this?
Well, I've got an idea.
Oh yeah?
It's in the freezer.
Okay, what's in the freezer?
Go and have a look.
Alright. Okay, so what's the deal with inside the freezer?
So, you know Friends? There's an episode of Friends where Joey's like, "Oh, The Shining!" and he puts The Shining in his freezer. So we're gonna put some films and some books in the freezer.
We are so millennial, sometimes it hurts a little bit. It is Halloween, so can I like dress us up for this?
No.
Please.
Okay.
Alright, well, you're on. That's more like it. I think we look pretty good.
I think we look pretty beautiful.
You do.
I do, I look stunning.
I look terrifying. We're now going to take 10 things that have scared us at some point or other, and you are going to do books and I'm going to do films, and we're going to take turns.
How are we going to do this? Are we going to do I'll do one, then you do one, then I'll do one?
I reckon that works, yeah.
Well, my first scary entry, and I'm very glad you asked that, death. Isn't it ironic actually that we're Lord Literature and Madam Media and we've cross-dressed for the first video?
I think it's perfect.
My first entry, we're going to keep with the Stephen King theme because obviously Joey in Friends throws The Shining. The Shining isn't my favourite Stephen King's books. It's actually the first one of his that I read and almost put me off him, and I've since reread it and I just think it's okay. But what I think is truly terrifying, especially at the moment, is The Stand. So it's a 1,000-page long post-apocalyptic epic saga in a world after the super flu where 99.8% of the population died, and then you get like the aftermath of that. So what's scary for me is like people dealing with childbirth and pregnancy complications and stuff, but without no doctors. I can't believe I just said that.
The writer of books, you didn't get your words right.
I got it wrong.
I find that really scary as well, because that's very similar to the film Contagion that came out recently, where they basically predicted what we're going through in 2020 right now.
What I also think is particularly terrifying about that book is the way that a lot of people die after the collapse of civilization. Like you get somebody, he accidentally locks himself into like a meat fridge, and it's one of those you can only open it from the outside, and because you know only 99.8% of the population died, there's nobody around to let him back out, so he just sort of carks it in there, and it's just a terrifying thought. Like it shows how vulnerable we are once the veneer of civilization has been stripped away.
Cool. So my first entry into this is obviously The Ring. I think I was something like 13. Yes, certificates on movies actually do have a point. I had been round my friends for a sleepover and we'd planned on watching it that night, but then the sleepover ended and I watched it the next day thinking, oh, it'll be fine even though I'm on my own and I'm 13, but it's daylight so I'm gonna be fine. And I really wasn't fine, because also it was back in the day when it was on VHS tape, which is exactly how the damn thing spreads. For the following couple of years I swore that girl from The Ring with her long dark hair and pale white face was just looming in the corner of whichever direction I wasn't looking in. The girl from The Ring is the reason why I had short hair all the way through college, because I thought I looked a little bit like her. There's something about the 15 certificate on a horror film that just gets me, because they have to make you imagine it, which is so much worse. And to this day I'm a bit funny with white noise as well.
Do you remember there was, I can't remember what it was called now, it was an old Nicolas Cage movie, White Noise.
Oh, yeah.
That was a terrible movie.
I avoided it because of The Ring.
Because the idea being like, you'd record the empty room and then you can hear ghosts in the recording. Yeah. Maybe we should do that later.
Let's not say we did.
Okay. So this one is I Am Legend. Basically, it's kind of a vampire novel, which didn't really come across in the movie as well. It wasn't really clarified exactly what was going on. And in the book, what's terrifying is that the main character in it is the final survivor, essentially. And there are all these vampires, and they'll be outside his house at night, and they're all of his neighbours, and they can still speak to him. So they're like, "Come on out, Robert. We just want to talk to you." And then there's a bit of a twist at the end, which packs a hell of a punch. And yeah, it's one of those where, again, the concept behind it scares me more than the actual storyline itself. Although they're both pretty scary.
Okay, tell me, what's the twist?
The twist is that at the end, you don't actually know what the twist is. Because he's the last of his race, and they're like holding the future back.
Holy shit. I'm gonna pretend I knew that the whole time. My next entry is Crimson Peak, which I have really conflicting feelings about because it's an absolutely stunningly gorgeous movie, and also Tom Hiddleston. The things that I loved about it was how visually interesting it was. Like, the lighting was amazing, the costumes were just but then the ghosts were really scary. Like, there's the mother at the beginning who tends, you know, she has her reasons, and the ghosts before the twist are absolutely terrifying. There's that moment in the cupboard where you just get a shot of the face, and then there's the woman climbing out of the bathtub, there's the woman climbing out of the floor. It was, the sound design is also crazy on that one as well. But I love that film, so I can't watch it when I'm on my own because it scares the crap out of me. But I always kind of want to watch the film because it's beautiful. So yeah, conflicted.
I've not seen it, so we can watch that together.
Yay! Okay.
Brownie points. Third one is going to be Bram Stoker's Dracula. You might have heard of it.
Oh, I've seen several versions. I can talk a bit about this one.
Part of the reason why I particularly like it and find it particularly chilling is that I was quite young, well, youngish. I was like 18, 19 when I first read it. I was staying over at my girlfriend at the time's parents' house, and they were very conservative, so I had to sleep downstairs in the living room, and it was like a big open plan living room, so you could see like the dining room and then like the back door and all this stuff. And because it was a weird house for me, I was just freaking out all evening and couldn't sleep. So I sat there reading Dracula instead, which probably also didn't help me to sleep. It's actually very chilling in the novel as well, so very creepy.
I remember in the film versions that I've seen, none of them have successfully scared me because they've always tried to make Dracula as a kind of Byronic figure because he's tragic and dark and brooding and just bad for you in general, really. Not scary in any of the film versions.
I don't even know if it's that he's scary per se. I suppose it is. I mean, it's one of those books where it really stuck with me and kind of haunted me a bit. So I think just the idea and Bram Stoker's writing style probably did it. Sorry, I got my hair in my mouth. Oh. Women problems.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
My third entry is, you ready for this?
I think so.
Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Right.
Here's the thing, right? So the Renaissance, Disney Renaissance teaches girls like me from an early age that the only thing that really matters is getting a guy. And think about it, she gives up her voice in order to please the guy. She ends up isolated from her family and her society in an unfamiliar world, and she's stuck with this guy who she hasn't been able to have a conversation with because she gave up her voice in order to hang out with him. Think about Ursula's song, Poor Unfortunate Souls. It's scary how the second you had a couple of relationships, you suddenly realise that Ursula was right and Ariel's the idiot. It's portrayed as a good thing. You're supposed to want this. You're supposed to not underestimate the importance of body language, you poor unfortunate souls. Rewatch a lot of the old Disney. As a feminist, it's not good.
Well, I don't watch any Disney, do I? So I don't really
I know you've been spared, because you would be taught as a guy that all that matters is being so handsome. And
well, clearly I am.
Yes, you are. But also, having no parents or having daddy issues on one level is also a good way to be a prince. Oh, and you need a horse. I'm a shit Disney princess and you're a crap Disney prince.
I could get like a scooter. Okay. Well, the fourth entry I can go and get for you.
Okay.
Okay. This is being a bit cheeky.
understand it.
By a guy you might have heard of. This is Meat by Dane Cobain. Is it cheating to use my own book?
Are you scared by it?
A little bit.
In that case, it counts. Okay.
Because of just so many of the like just horrible scenes, like gory scenes, like a man getting his hand stuck in a chicken shredder, and like birds, angry birds, but not like the angry. Oh, I don't have my teddy anymore, but not like the like popping the pigs angry birds. We're talking like angry like ravens that are just like, I want to eat some human brain. Yeah.
So it's like a zombie story, right?
It is.
For those who have not been watching your channel.
It is essentially a zombie story, but focusing mainly on the zombie animals. It's got a bit of like that Lord of the Flies vibe when they're factory farm workers. So it's set at a factory farm called Sunnyvale, and they all get caught in the quarantine. And so we sort of see how they adapt to being forced to live together in these close living situation. And I mean, there's kind of hope to this book, but not very much hope. Okay, I know, mate, I appreciate it.
The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. The reason I found this one interesting is I will not talk about the twist, there is this unseen fear. It's in the woods and it keeps them in their village. And there's this one guy, he is the bravest guy in this village, but even he succumbs to this fear. So it's the psychological element of how you can be contained by this completely unknown thing. No one has ever seen it. And there's this blind woman who is braver than everyone else because she can't see it either.
Yeah.
But because she can't see anything. And that's really good. And then the rest of it is in the twist, so you're just going to have to see it to know how great it is. It's right up there with Sixth Sense.
I think I have seen that one. I think I saw that when it came out of the cinema.
Yeah?
But I can't remember it.
Well, the twist is actually in olden times, He didn't know it.
Number 5 is another one that you might have seen the movie of. It's by William Peter Blatty, and it is The Exorcist. Your mother sucks cocks in hell!
We're gonna have to edit that out. Okay, so I have seen the film. I've also read the book as well.
Well, right, actually one of the weirdly specific things that freaked me out is the playing of audio backwards and finding new sentences in it. It's just creepy as shit in general. In the book, I think it scared me even more than in the movie. And again, a lot of the descriptions, I've said this to you when I was talking about the novelization of Alien, where Alan Dean Foster did this great job of making like he described the smells of like the bowels as the alien came out, going like which you can't get in a movie. And so again, a lot of this stuff, if you think about The Exorcist and you think about Regan McNeil in that bed, she's been in that bed like pissing in the bed, she's been vomiting out bile, like it just is not a nice smelling room, you know.
Something about The Exorcist that I found really interesting was this book was really scary, but a big part about what made the film scary was also the urban legends that built up around the filming of it as well. Like, oh, there was a fire, people have died. It was the beginning of the trend that was things like, oh, the Blair Witch is real, that sort of thing. So the urban legend tying in as well is an interesting thing from a film perspective.
Yes, no, true, yeah.
And my final entry is The Babadook. And this one is really interesting because it's a slow burner as a film, and you can do a read on it where is it really a haunting or is it actually the manifestation of her trauma that she's not processed. So I'm not going to give too much away, but it can go either way for quite a lot of the film. And it's also interesting because usually a ghost story, it's a woman that is the ghost. This time it's a man that is the ghost, so it's really interesting to see how the haunting character can loom, and it feels more predatory, like a real life stalker, and you're not sure. And then you realise that a lot of the scary behaviour is actually coming from her, because is she becoming possessed? Or does she just need some therapy? My god, it does a really good job of scaring the crap out of me.
I'm not sure if I've seen it or not.
That one I think we do need to make you watch, because I can switch off my imagination and go, huh, from a psychological perspective, this is pretty interesting.
Oh, yes. All right, I got my Lovecraft.
Dane, what you doing?
Nothing. I'm reading my book.
From the freezer?
Yeah.
Just goes straight to your waist, doesn't it?
Amador, tell them Boris sent you. He wants you. I mean, there's there's a political joke there, isn't there? They did the mash. Did the monster mash. Do the graveyard smash. He caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. They did the monster mash.
Crushed it.